Hello, everyone, and welcome to Tiger on the Block, the only podcast that takes collegiate a cappella members and makes them really uncomfortable for 30 minutes. I'm Tony like the tiger, Voss like the water.
And I'm Jessica Block, your dad, but more rad.
So today we have some members of Pitch Please joining us today. I said today twice.
Well, Pitch Please is a really special a cappella group out of UCLA. They just recently went through the quarterfinals of the ICCAs, and they also moved on to semis, and due to coronavirus weren't able to perform at semis, but we're really excited about the prospect of moving up in the a cappella world.
Without further ado, let's introduce ourselves. Aarin?
Hi, guys. I'm Aarin Martinez, and I am music director of Pitch Please.
Hi, I'm Andrew Sonico Eugenio, and
He also is the vocal percussion for Pitch Please at UCLA.
Sometimes.
Andrew,
Let's start off with a couple questions just in general, like for each of you to answer just one after the other. You don't have to wait for us to prompt you, but who are you? Where are you from? What's your musical background? Why'd you join a cappella? Just that kind of, like, your story. How'd you get involved in collegiate a cappella?
I think Andrew's story is more interesting, so I'll go first.
Why you love Pitch Please? We're here for any of it. Any and all of it.
Okay, so how do I start this? I didn't really know much about a cappella before coming to UCLA. I know it's a shocker for those of you who know me.
Insane. Guys, she knows so much. She knows so much about a cappella. It's kind of scary.
She knows a lot about good a cappella.
Okay, well,
That's a good
basically,
caveat.
I think, so for me, like, my musical background, I was in jazz band in high school. I was like the bassist, and I also sang with them. I haven't done choir since like middle school, so I didn't really sing them like that much. But I told myself that if I were to, like, wherever I go to college, I have to join an a cappella group. You know, like, it was like the basic thing. Like, yeah, I saw Pitch Perfect. Yeah, I know who Pentatonics is. I thought a cappella was cool, and I just wanted an excuse to, like, actually start singing again. So I joined Pitch Please because it was the only group that took me, but I don't regret it. I don't regret it at all. And basically, I think just that experience my first year, just kind of really being able to do music stuff again, because I'm a computer science major. I don't do music regularly. So This is like the one thing that, like, I get to do to, like, relax or whatever. And I kind of just really threw myself into it because I was like, what better way to procrastinate your CS projects than to sing a cappella music? And I was just one of those people who, like, fell down the rabbit hole. So here I am now as a music director of this group and being in charge of, like, everything now. Is kind of crazy.
You've done a great job. We'll play a sample later of some music, or maybe we've already played it. That sample you heard earlier was actually a recording of Pitch Please, directed by Aarin, which is crazy and awesome that the group sounds that good.
They're definitely lucky to have her, yeah. Did you just say you played bass in jazz band? I didn't know that.
I did, yeah. So basically, I started off as, like, a guitarist, in middle school, like, for the middle school jazz band. But then our bassist was moving to high school, and there wasn't any other bassist that could take over. So they were like, okay, Aarin, can we just move you from guitar to bass, because it's so easy to find guitarists, but it's not easy to find bassists. And I was like, okay, sure, I'll try to teach myself. So I started on electric bass, but then my director, who was, like, the biggest Ellington fan on the planet, really likes old school, like, jazz stuff. So he was like, we need to get you on upright bass. So I started that in 8th grade. My fingers died. But now it's, like, my primary instrument, or it became my primary instrument throughout high school. I loved it more than I like regular guitar or electric bass.
I feel like hands down, the bassist of a jazz band is always the coolest person in the entire band. Like, the saxophones think it's them, but it's always the bassist.
As the person who is both of those things, sure.
Tony, you're just a wild card in general. Like, let's be honest.
It's true. But Aarin, that means we're twins. We both played bass in jazz band and then, like, switched to upright. Like, that was...
Yeah, it was a really fun experience. And I think, and also I'm really glad that I did, because, like, I also write music for the group, and I think that writing a bass part is, like, the foundation of, like, an arrangement. And I think that, like, having that kind of background just kind of really helped me, like, at least see, like, how to build a song from like the bottom up.
For sure.
I think, yeah, bass is so essential to like the melody and like how everything kind of like comes together in an a cappella arrangement. But there's also another very important aspect, and that is the VP. Andrew, take it away, bud.
Oh, I just have a question for Aarin. How the hell did you reach the top of that bass neck?
Okay, fun story. Basically, I had to use a half-size bass, so that accommodated my height. Oh, and I also adjusted the peg to all the way at the bottom. Like, it doesn't even use, like, I don't know if you've seen like upright basses where they have like a little like adjustable like stilt that it kind of sits on, and they had to take the stilt out because it was too tall.
For those of you who aren't in the studio, Aarin is towering 2 feet tall.
I'm 4'11". But anyways, yeah, so basically they had to take the little stilt out. So, and even then, like that half-size bass was still, like, according to like my bass teacher, it was still like way too tall for me. Yes, that's the real experience. Like just me like trying to reach like the top notes with like my arm just like fully extended. Yes.
Well, Andrew, you are one of the best beatboxers, if not the best beatboxer at UCLA. It's really been cool to watch you.
Insult?
It's really been awesome to watch you go through, just like join a group, become honestly like a lot of the personality of that group. Can you talk for a bit about your beatboxing journey from maybe before college? I don't know exactly what you did before college into UCLA.
This is actually a really funny story. Shout out Mr. Smith, you're still a homie. But in 8th grade PE, we had a rainy day when we weren't expecting one, and he didn't know what to do. So he said, well, I found this video on the internet that I thought was pretty cool. And it's the most viewed TED video, and it was Tom Thumb's basically the orchestra in my mouth. It was that video, and it was a really eye-opening experience. And it like Aarin's journey into acapella and how she fell into the rabbit hole there, I fell into the rabbit hole of beatboxing. Shortly after that, I discovered the 2012 championships, and I was just like, wow, there's a lot of stuff. So I did a lot of spitting, and I just kept improving, and it just led me to where I am today. I had a really interesting journey coming into UCLA, the UCLA acapella scene. I auditioned for 4 groups: Scats, B-Harm, Resonance, and Pitch Please. And what ended up happening was I got sick in the middle of the week, so I didn't end up going to 2 of the callbacks. One of them, they said, I missed the part where they said business casual or dress to impress, and I showed up in sweats and an Intel volunteer shirt. B-Harm, they just didn't need me. So it was just, it's kind of hard being like one of those like very niche roles, like a vocal percussion or a bass, because there has to be a space for you. So like if freaking like Remix like came in and said, hey, I want to do a cappella, and he wanted to join Pitch Please, we probably won't accept him because he has no space here. There's just no room for it. Like, what are you gonna do? Kick me out? Actually, don't answer that. Do not answer that. Yeah. So that's a very condensed story on how I got to where I am. Oh, actually, no. I didn't even get to the part to where I am. So, I actually didn't end up joining a cappella my first quarter, and then I bumped into Will from Pitch Please, and he was like, why didn't you show up to the callbacks? Bro, I get sick sometimes. And then I texted him over winter break. He's like, yo, are you guys still accepting members? Because you guys were like very welcoming. I remember I saw Jessica on the way to find B-Harm.
Yep. I helped you find your audition for a group that was not us.
Yeah. I still auditioned for you guys, though.
You did. Well, I really wanted you to.
So they took me in for a rehearsal and got me to try some stuff out. And then I remember once I got in the group, my first rehearsal was after karaoke night. The day after karaoke night. Do you guys remember that? That was my first rehearsal, and I was questioning everything after that.
I don't blame you.
That was a crazy night.
So I've heard. So yeah. And then now I boots and cats while other people do the hard stuff.
Well, that's quite the understatement. You do quite a lot for this group, but we're so glad to have you, and It's great to hear your story. Do you do any sort of competitions on top of doing a cappella within?
I'm kind of against that. One of the dudes from UCSD Tritones, shout out to Tritones, shout out to The Beat for having me last night. But yeah, so he's like, yo, you should get in with the scene, but like, I'm afraid that like my competitive nature is just gonna start kicking in, and then it'll lose the fun in it.
Let's go on to a couple more. Speaking of fun, a couple more fun and spicy questions. We've sort of talked about where you guys sort of come from musically in your journey to a cappella. Now that you're in a cappella, do you have any favorite moments or just things that have happened within your a cappella experience that you want to talk about?
Adding on top of that, if you guys have like a favorite song that you guys have, I know Pitch Please has an album out. What's your favorite out of that list as well?
Oh boy. It's so hard to pick because this entire journey has just been special from start to finish.
I have my answer set if you want some time to think.
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Okay, my most notable moment where I knew that I was accepted in Pitch Please was when I was in Thaddeus's room trying to catch up on music and choreo and trying to, get in with like what's going on, since I joined with 3 weeks before competition.
That was crazy.
Yeah, I look back on the video, I didn't do any of the choreo right, but it's okay. But so I was in there and he was going over Wings, and I was just sitting there and I was just like going over some stuff with him. And then he was like, okay, look, I'm going to give you a solo. And I'm just sitting here like, what? That's how I knew that, Pitch Please was really there to maximize my talents and make sure.
Great audio.
Oh
Fantastic.
But yeah,
incredible.
So that's when I realized I wasn't just like somebody who was just coming in. That's when I really realized, I'm like an actual part of this, and how that's really where the transition went from me being an outsider to I felt like an outsider coming in to really being like, one of the bros,
You're definitely one of the bros.
And let's see, favorite song on the album, Love Never Felt So Good. I feel like there's like a line between like creative liberty and like whatchamacallit, my actual knowledge of what to do. Love Never Felt So Good was really the culmination of Thaddeus and the arranger Isaiah Carter just basically saying do whatever you want, and me actually knowing what I would want to do. So that's at least like working on it from a vocal percussion perspective.
I think that's one of our songs, just hearing it from my perspective, where you sound the most like an actual drum set, and it's crazy to me how much it actually sounds like someone's playing the drums.
Love Never Felt So Good was actually one of the first things I listened to when I was looking to apply to Pitch Please.
I mean, I don't blame you. I kind of forced you to listen to it and learn it.
Well, yeah, it was part of the callback process as we listened to and learned that song. That song really hooked me into the group.
Yeah, I think that when we were in the hallway, I was dancing to All I Want for Christmas Is You, because I was practicing to potentially audition for Be Harm just as a joke. I ended up not doing it. I chickened out. But Tony, you were known as Purple Shirt Guy before we knew your name, and we wanted Purple Shirt Guy to audition for us.
Aarin, what was your have you had enough time to contemplate your answer?
I was hoping you guys would forget about me, but
listen, I would never forget a guest.
Okay, well, oh my god. I really just don't know how to say it, because I think the more crazy thing is it's never a specific moment. It's after you've achieved something. I guess I'll say as an example is after quarterfinals, ICCA quarterfinals this past year. It the thing about winning all of those awards, or being able to put on such a great show at competition, was the fact that idea started when Braden, who was another member of Pitch Please and was assistant music director at the time.
Now president.
But Braden and I were literally sitting at a piano in a random music room. I would say maybe a week or so after the first time we competed in ICCA in like 2019, we sat at a piano and we were like, let's plan next year's set. And it was kind of funny because neither of us had any like board positions yet whatsoever. I wasn't music director yet. He wasn't assistant music director, but we said that we were going to figure out the set for some reason. So we sat down and we were like, okay, I think E.T. is a really good song that we should totally like use. Like, oh my God, what if we had like a space theme? It's kind of crazy. Like, it was just a random idea. Neither of us expected that to actually become our set.
Speaking of that, if I can add on to that, speaking of E.T., I just wanted to get this quip in while I'm here. The whole concept of a VP solo was me trying to annoy her and was like, hey, give me a solo. And then she was like, oh, you know what? That might be a good idea.
Just like just a really stupid, dumb, tiny idea from like a really just a music room in some random time, and then turning that into like a full like 12-minute set with like amazing arrangements, amazing choreography. Thank you, Tony. and just like the amount of progress we've made, it's just crazy. Like, I still think about that one moment. I'm like, if we didn't do that, then where would have we gone?
How much you, Aarin, and Andrew and Brayden like care about collegiate acapella, it shows in your work, and it shows in how you've led the group, and it shows in the group's improvements. And it's just been really awesome to see like this extreme interest in this topic that you guys all have, more from that like an extreme interest into an extreme amount of like talent and an extreme amount of just awesome performance that's been put out on stage at ICCAs this year and just throughout this year in general.
Yeah, like, thank you for saying that, by the way. But really, it's just like, because I've had like friends that are like not in acapella but like know me, and they're asking me like, oh my gosh, you spend so much time doing this, isn't this so much work, like aren't you tired? But the thing is, this is really cheesy. But
I asked that question.
No, it really just, yeah, I know, even you asked me that, but the thing is, it doesn't feel like work. It really doesn't. I'm just like chilling out on my computer, just trying to figure out what else I should be doing for this group instead of actual work. And it's fine, because like I said, like, it's just so fulfilling when like that small idea that you had in the back of your head just becomes something so real. And
I think that passion like really shines through in the work that Pitch Please has been able to put out like this past year and like beyond. All right, we have a game for you all to play, but before we get into that, we would like to thank our sponsors. Today's episode is brought to you by Jean's Jeans. The pun works better on paper.
And by green beans, the type of bean that no one asked for.
Incredible. So good. Jessica, would you like to explain what we're about to do while I pull some things up?
I would love to. So our next segment for you guys, as mentioned earlier, is a game that will involve our participants, and our hosts will watch and laugh. So basically what happens is we have a different game every episode, and today's game, especially since we have one of our illustrious guests here with us today, is called Beat Aarin. It's like Beat Shazam. If you haven't heard of Beat Shazam, it's a game show in which contestants are racing against the Shazam app to identify a song as it plays. And Aarin here is basically the Shazam of collegiate acapella. So we are pitting Andrew against Aarin, and we are playing a quick game of Beat Aarin.
Oh God.
In which our contestants have to recognize the collegiate acapella cover before each other.
Oh man, I even don't feel like I'm gonna get this.
You will.
I can see it.
I believe in you guys.
Oh no.
I believe in you all. So I have the audio for the first one up. And so
How do we?
I'm just gonna yell.
When you know the answer, just so we can like hear a distinct difference, clap so that we get like that sound response, and whoever claps first gets to say it.
So here is number 1. Aarin, what is it?
I got that. What?
I got it before you.
No.
He clapped before you.
Wait, who clapped before? Who clapped first?
I'm pretty sure I clapped
What?
first.
No.
Yes, I did.
Oh wait, maybe it's the latency on
Aarin clapped first. What is it, Aarin?
Hammer, SoCal vocals.
Yes, it is.
Ding, 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 ding.
Can I contest that?
Sure.
No, because like, how do you know like the latency between our ends? You know?
I think that on my computer, Aarin was first. How about on yours, Tony?
It was, I heard Aarin's audio first.
I think it was Aarin.
That's BS.
Hey.
All right, you guys ready for the second?
God.
Let's hope I don't get an ad.
It's choppy.
I don't know if it's right. I want to say it is, but like I would want to hear
can't
more of
even
it. But I
hear
think Andrew will get it if I wait longer. Yeah. Okay. I know. Fools nor'easters.
Yep.
No, I wasn't gonna get that. I'm not a Nor'easters fan. I
actually don't listen to this song that much. I recently added it to my acapella playlist maybe like a month ago or so. But
That's how
I'm
you
glad
know
I
she's
actually knew it.
invested.
Should we do the next one, Tony?
Absolutely.
I'm clobbered right now.
That's why it's called Beat Aarin, not Beat Andrew.
And I never.
Aarin!
Aarin, oh my god!
What?
She's so powerful.
Okay. She clapped before I could hear anything. So is that on my end that I could?
Bro, I don't know, but
Is my internet
Bold of you,
that
though,
slow?
To play a song that Pitch Please is actually performed is scary.
Is that?
Bastard Devil?
Yep.
That's
Is
it.
that?
You gotta get the
That's
group
not
and
fair.
the name of the song, and you got both, Aarin.
That's not even fair. I didn't even hear anything yet, and then she claps.
No, the thing is, the audio itself was kind of choppy, but like
I didn't hear any of that.
All we heard is
hear any of
"and
that."
I never," and that's all you need to hear.
Yeah, no, that's all you needed. That's all we.
No, I didn't even hear that.
Oh, Andrew.
I heard ver. That's all I heard.
Okay, we'll give him a fighting chance on this next one, but I feel like Aarin is gonna get this too. So.
This is the fourth one? All right, hold on.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to get through this thing
Yes,
called
Andrew?
life.
I heard noise. I think Andrew actually beat.
I didn't see him clap.
I'm just spit snaring.
Yeah, no, that's what I heard. I heard your snare. I think he beat me.
Oh, did he snare instead of clap? I've been looking for motion as well.
Yeah.
Okay, Andrew.
I literally heard his snare, and I was
And
like,
harmonics.
yeah.
Yep, you got it.
what's the name of the song, Andrew?
That's a great question, actually. All I know is a hiya.
Oh my god. You don't got the name of the song, Andrew?
Do you know where it's from N?
I know it's from the winning ICCA set. It has something to do with an animal
It's
that's
called
like
To the
canine.
Wolves.
To the
You're
wolves,
close,
right?
Yeah, it is called To the Wolves.
To the wolves.
I think we gotta give
I
that
think we
one to
should give
Andrew. Okay, it's 3-1,
He did
right?
beat me. Yeah.
It's 3-1, Aarin, Andrew. This last one
Andrew
will
can
make
have
it worth
little-
2
We're gonna blow a
points.
3-1 lead.
We'll make this last one worth 3 points because that way it can decide. You can still win, Andrew. You can decide the game.
You could
my
still beat
God.
her in.
This one's a bit of a curveball, a little bit. We'll see if you guys can get it.
Yeah.
We're
I
Astley,
get
never
it.
gonna give you up.
Damn, he already got it. He did it. You win, bud.
Do you mind if we take our
The
time?
opener for Pitch Slap's 2014 ICCA set.
That is correct. Do you know what the name of the song is?
I don't know the name of the song.
Tony, keep playing it. See if she gets it.
Okay.
No. I heard the song. I know how the entire song goes. I just don't know the name of it. I don't know what the song is called.
Do you mind if we take our time
Wink.
and take it easy?
Do you mind?
Take it easy.
I think we're gonna have to give that to Aarin since she got more information than Andrew. But Andrew got closest to the name, so I'm gonna split up those 3 points and give 2 to Aarin and 1 to Andrew because the song is called "Take Your Time" and it is the 2014 opener by Pitch Slapped. So, congratulations, you guys
I'm
just
not gonna lie,
played Beat
I was trying to
Aarin.
look it up.
You did
So-
not beat Aarin because Aarin beat Aarin.
Aarin did beat Aarin. Incredible. All right. Well, we're kind of reaching the end of the podcast, so if you guys have anything to promote promote for yourself or for the group, go off.
Andrew,
Bitch,
you're better at
please.
this than I am.
Made to Fly. Out now. Stream on all streaming services. like Spotify. Also available on iTunes, the Google Play Store, so on and so forth. Go add to it.
Yes, I can. What he's talking about is our album. That's our debut album, Made to Fly, which was released in fall of 2019. It was nominated for 3 contemporary acapella recording awards, which is pretty crazy, especially since this was our first album that we've ever professionally recorded and released. So yeah, it's on all major streaming sites. Oh, our 2020 ICCA competition video is up on our YouTube channel, and definitely look that up too if you want to see what kind of stuff we've been doing more recently. Yeah, and I guess if you really, really, really want to learn more about us and what we do, check out our website. Check out our Instagram at pitch_please_UCLA.
Is there anything that our viewers should be looking forward to from Pitch Please in the next coming year?
So I would have to say, in terms of things from the future, they would have to wait be how many months or so before all of us are on campus together.
Facts.
So we do have a couple things. I think we might have a couple smaller things planned through social media. So definitely follow us on Instagram if you want to stay updated to a bunch of cool little
_please_UCLA.
Cute cute random social media things that I think Andrew is actually spearheading.
Also, you should check out our TikTok at Basic Pitches. We also might get a more official one where we post actual rehearsal runs and so on and so forth. But if you want to see the memetry, hit up that.
If you are an incoming freshman at UCLA and you think acapella is cool, then definitely consider auditioning for us, because we are going to hold auditions in the fall.
And if you have any questions about auditions, feel free to Facebook message our group. We respond pretty quickly. Or you can DM us on Instagram, or you can just go to our website, and I believe there's a place to contact us there as well.
Yes, there is.
Let's see what else. I know it's a little early on, but I kind of want to mention that if there are any other prospective groups, not prospective groups, or any other collegiate acapella groups. Did I pronounce that right? Collegiate. If there are any other collegiate acapella groups that happen to be listening to this, Pitch Please will be hosting an event called Acapella, which is going to be a massive acapella festival featuring some of the best acapella groups in the nation. So be on the lookout for that, because you might be on there too.
And in addition to that, if you are one of those collegiate acapella groups and you don't have anything to do right now because of quarantine, but you would love to be on a podcast, then feel free to use any of those platforms we mentioned before to contact us, and we will get back to you about dates and times and potentially be able to do one of these with you.
Well, thank you so much. It's fine. I'll find a way to put that in. Well, thank you so much, Aarin and Andrew, for joining us today. We would also like to thank our casting director, Karen Les-Whisper, for speaking to all of our guest managers, as well as keeping things sultry.
As well as our head writer, Natasha Bedingfield, for staring at the blank page before her, opening up a dirty window, and letting the sun illuminate all the words that we could not find ourselves.
And of course, to our listeners, thank you for tuning in.
Don't forget to come back next week when we will be joined by another awesome set of acapella people.
This has been Tiger on the Block. Stay hydrated, treat those vocal cords right, and chug a ton of honey.
Oh, baby, love never felt so good.